Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Last time, we got sent back to the Crystarium, so let's see what's going to happen here. Alright, we are live. The following event cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any pending Duty Finder registrations. Okay.
Do we know that maybe there'll be a split thing at some point?
Don't know. If there is, just sit there at the button and I'll drop back, disband the party, and handle that.
Okay.
Do my old eyes deceive? Is that truly you? Ah, it is. Full glad am I to see you hale and whole, my friend. What a wonderful surprise it is for you to have you back with us, and at this most opportune time. In case you haven't heard, we are planning to produce a tome chronicling events from the Flood to the Knight's return. For this project, we intend to draw upon records kept by the world's peoples. Historical and contemporary first-hand accounts will be the centerpiece of the tome, but yours would be the one to crown them all. I've been asked to contribute a chapter on the soul, a subject that is key to understanding much of your endeavors. In the course of developing the spirit vessel, I gained valuable insights into travel beyond the rift, knowledge that will allow me to attest to your existence and deeds. There is no end to the questions I would ask you, but there's no end to the questions I would ask you, but if you could indulge me just one for now. In your quest to restore the night, you faced many a formidable foe. Among them, who offered you the greatest struggle? Hades. Ah yes, Hades. He who sought to resurrect his ancient brethren. He was the final obstacle of your quest to restore the night. Your battle in the depths of the Tempest is the stuff of epics. Yet, compelling as it is, I worry that mere words wouldn't do justice to that fateful confrontation. Not that we would think to omit it entirely, of course. No, at the very least, we will impress upon readers that it was the climax of your hero's journey. I know you'd love to talk his ear off, Morin, but we really should be on our way. Those documents for Yulmore won't collect themselves. Of course, of course. And afterwards, would you care to join me for tea? I was hoping we might clarify a few points of your treatise. Till next time, then. Do tell the others to look after themselves. Our overzealous friend in particular. Remind him not to overexert himself. Again and again until his ears fall off. If that's what it takes for him to take it to heart. Is that the Warrior of Darkness? It's him. It's really him. What are you doing here? You're going to battle. I can give you some medicine. I made it myself. That's not Riki. You'd only give him a stomach ache. We've come to see Morin to get his advice. One of the guard finally agreed to teach us how to fight, but first we need to choose a fighting style. While I know that I want to be a mage, Arkil isn't sure. Magic isn't really my thing, so I was thinking of taking up the axe, or the sword, or maybe the bow. They all seem alright, but it's hard to decide, so I thought I'd ask Morin. He knows a lot about a lot of things. He isn't here. Oh. Oh. Why don't you have the Warrior of Darkness choose for you? What do you think suits Arkil best? Axe, sword, or bow? Well, I use the sword, so sword. The sword? If you took up the sword, you could be just like Brandon, the Warrior of Light. I love that tale. Let's borrow that book today. It's really popular, though. I hope it's still here. Thanks for helping me decide, Warrior of Darkness. I'll start with that style, and maybe try something else later on. And when I get really strong, I hope to have a bout with you. Such fun. Such fun he's been having, basking in the adoration of musty old bookworms and wide-eyed younglings. But does he spare a thought for me? Of course not. Faul? Is that his name? I waited and waited and waited, but he won't so much as acknowledge the presence of his beautiful branch, even though they're right here. Such a heartless thing our sapling is. Cold and cruel and heartless. I'm going with option 2. If you truly missed me, you should have cried for me at the top of your lungs the instant you arrived. To make up for it, you will call with twice the passion next time. Though for there to be a next time, you've some few struggles to overcome. So, my adorable sapling, the world is on the verge of destruction, is it? How do I know this? Joined as we are, spying on you is as simple as sliding down the back of a rainbow. Would that I could aid you in your quest, but the fate of we Fey folk is bound to that of our star. Whither it goes, so do we follow. Such is our way. The most I could do for you is spare you the pain by gifting you the sweetest of eternal dreams. But if escape's not your liking, then you must struggle with your fellow mortal. Ah, but here are the ones you were waiting for. I wonder, what manner of conclusion awaits at tale's end? My apologies for the delay. It's so wonderful to see you again. You doubtless have much catching up to do, so I shall leave you to it. I've taken the liberty of unlocking the umbilicus, and you may enter at your leisure. I'm relieved to hear that everyone's well. I've had this feeling, like a pit in my stomach, and I was afraid that something might have happened. Maybe I'm overthinking things, but just that I'm the Oracle of Light, but I've never spoken with Heidelin, never once heard her call. Even so, I've always had this feeling deep inside me, a connection to something immense. These past few days, though, that connection has wavered, as if that immense something was distant, then close, then distant again. And then the other night, I was jolted awake by the feeling it had been completely severed. Wanting some fresh air, I went to open the window, and to my horror, the sky was ablaze, like during the star shower. But then I blinked, and everything was normal. The next day, no one said a thing. No one else had seen what I had seen. And as far as I could tell, nothing was out of the ordinary. I began to wonder if it was a figment of a half-remembered dream. What are you not telling me? I have to know, please. Doesn't matter how terrible it is. It wasn't my imagination then. The doom we witnessed in Amaro has come again. Can't believe it. Like I told you before, all is well here at the first. So don't worry about us. Please, look only to the threat before you. We're fine right now. And even if we weren't, we've learned how to survive. Should the final days reach us here, you may be assured we won't go quietly. No, we'll hold on until you can find a way to save all our worlds. So long as you continue your fight, so too will we, united in purpose beneath a blazing sky.
Did you guys pick up the next quest?
Not yet. I was looking at the gear I just got. This sword and shield. Specifically, the shield is the exact same model as the one I currently have, but kind of its colors are inverted. So I was seeing what was happening with it. If I dye it green, the shield turns black, and the two little light spots turn dark green.
Interesting.
I will now talk to Reed. You're headed to the Umbilicus to consult with Elidibus, right? I'll do some consulting of my own and speak with Lena. Decide how we might best prepare for the final days. So it's farewell for now, but we'll see each other again. I'm certain of it. Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that some of the people from the first might be coming to the source before this is done. Since, I can't remember the guy's name now, the little dog guy, mentioned he'd been studying the soul and learned more about traveling through the rift. That wasn't just a throwaway line. That has to be important.
Mm-hmm.
Biometric authentication complete. Please state your business. Acknowledged. Reinitializing Circus Tower systems. Searching for Elidibus entity. Target located in subterranean core power accumulator. Projecting image.
My home. My friends. No more than a dream. You. Why have you awakened me? I no longer sense those places beyond, or Lord Zodiac. You must explain all. So, he is fallen, and my brethren's souls returned to the star. The doom we sacrificed so much to prevent is come again. Old burdens now yours to bear. But if this is Fandaniel's design, then I, as Elidibus, have a duty to fulfill. Your unsolicited act has restored to me some few memories of the convocation. Such knowledge as I have, I will share. I do this not for you. I merely perform my duty, as I have ever done. Where to begin? Ah, the end. Your understanding of what caused the final days is consistent with our own. The decay first took root where the currents were weakest. Yes, a conclusion drawn by him, Fandaniel. Not the him of here and now, but as I knew him, long, long ago. Having shed light upon the phenomenon, he dedicated himself to devising a countermeasure. Were it not for his knowledge of the Celestial, we would never have made the connection, and thence forestalled the final days. And though he inherited that noble soul, how different this last incarnation. So consumed by self-loathing and hate. Elpis. Yes, the name is familiar to me. Yet I know it not as a flower, but a place. A testing facility for determining which of our creations were fit to be released into the world. Many worked there, and before joining the convocation and assuming the title of Fandaniel, he was their chief. He was Hermes. That is all I know. The crystals tell little of the lives the 14 led prior to their induction. Elpis itself would tell even less. Nary a ruin has survived. Wait. I saw you there. In Elpis. No. I did not. But I did. I did. A lingering trace of impossibility. And a truth that fills my heart. My memories remain clouded, I fear. However, they have revealed to me one possible course. You must travel to Elpis, to the time when Hermes served as its chief. In glimpsing the Exarch's memories, not only did I make his summoning magic mine own, I also mastered the workings of this tower, which, having absorbed my empowered essence, now harbors an abundance of energy. As such, I believe I can deliver you unto the past, unto that place and that precise moment. Given the eons that must be traversed, the gateway will not be fully formed. Your form will be less tangible still than those warriors of light I had summoned. In all likelihood, none will be able to see or hear you. Yet even should you manage to interact with others, you will be unable to effect meaningful change. For the reality you wish to save, the reality to which you must return, exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present. Cannot unmake the sorrow and suffering fated to come. In full knowledge of this, will you still entrust your life to your foe and make the journey? Very well. I shall cast you unto the river of time. Let this be my final act. You must input the commands. I no longer have the authority. First, you must reconfigure the systems, that the tower's ether may be channeled for the magic. The preparations are complete. The gateway will soon open. Return at once to the Ocula. All appears to be in order. The ether flows unimpeded. The magic should consume every last mote of my essence. Why are you surprised? Did I not say that this will be my final act? Lord Zodiac is no more. There is nothing for me here. The ones I love and long to see again are waiting in that promised land, beyond memory and dream. Now go, warrior of light. Go, and do not look back. Well, Heidelin, I take my leave of you. Yours is the mantle of the last of us. May you have the joy of it, the burden and the solitude. It falls to you now. You and your champion to save our star.
I believe we are instanced. The man stands dutifully by the Aetheryte-like device, a guide for this facility and all that. You attempt to get the man's attention, but if he sees or hears you, he gives absolutely no indication. As Elidibus warns, it appears your form is intangible. This is the right place, yes? Proplion? Judging by the woman's words, this facility is called Proplion. Propilalion. You attempt to gently prod the woman to attract her attention, but feel nothing, and it seems neither does she. The remarkably large man wears a black robe and a half mask, much like the phantoms you encountered in Mare Lamentorum, and the recreated Amarat. It would seem you have made it to your destination. You gesticulate wildly and shout all manner of greetings and obscenities, but the man does not so much as glance in your direction. You suspect this door leads outside, but how to open it?
And here we are, Elpis. Well, well, how rare to receive you in person. To what do we owe the honor?
Oh, just a few odd tasks. We'll be here a while.
You're welcome to stay as long as you see fit, of course. As a matter of procedure, however, I must ask that you kindly remove your masks.
Come now. Is this truly necessary? Surely you can tell who we are.
Who you are, perhaps, but I am far less infamous. Regardless, if we do not follow protocol, 'tis our hosts who would be held accountable. So, please, do favor us with your handsome face.
Satisfied?
I thank you for your cooperation. You are free to go about your business.
By the by, you see it too, yes?
I haven't the foggiest what you're talking about.
That's odd. It's right here. A bit thin in the ether, but there's no mistaking it. The color of its soul is almost identical to Azem's. Do you suppose he created it? Rather unusual for a familiar to have a soul, though.
Don't ask me. All I know is that it's trouble. Doubly so if it's his spitting image. So let's leave it be. Come now.
It's trying to say something, but it's literally too intangible to form words.
Sunder, thanks for stopping by. Have a good day yourself.
Why don't you give it some ether? Spare a snifter of your bounteous reserves.
Who do you take me for?
Why, a dear friend, of course. One who wouldn't let acts of kindness, such as my accompanying him on errands to far-flung outposts, go unrewarded?
I suggest you close your eyes, or this may be unpleasant. You may open your eyes.
Oh, you even adjusted its size.
The better to indulge your whim. This way, it will be easier to communicate.
How very thoughtful of you. And may I applaud your artful reinforcement. Without further ado then. Greetings! I am Hythlodaeus, Chief of the Bureau of the Architect. Sulking beside me is the most honorable Emmett Selk of the Convocation of 14. And how might we address you, my new friend? A fine name, and I'm pleased to see you understand our words. So, tell us, whence have you come? The thinness of your essence suggests you weren't created here. You do not know? Or cannot say? Allow me to ask a different question then. What brings you here? Well now, the same as us. Perhaps Azim wished to come too, but had to settle for a familiar.
If he truly wished to be here, then he would be.
Right you are. My apologies if we've given offense. The two of us can discern the color of souls, you see, and yours happens to resemble that of a friend. And with your purpose matching our own besides, we jumped to a hasty conclusion. We are here to speak with Hermes, the chief overseer of this facility, which we also intend to tour in order to gain greater insight into the man's work. We, I say, though this is Emmett Selk's charge. I am here only to serve as his guide. And I should be happy to serve as yours as well. by way of an apology for the misunderstanding.
Wait, are you suggesting that we bring it along on official business? This thing we know next to nothing about?
If you harbor suspicions, better to keep it close than leave it to its own devices. Wouldn't you agree? Besides, having a mysterious life form in tow is the norm rather than the exception here. Welcome, my friends, to the testing ground of creation at Heaven's Edge, Elpis.
This presence.
Hermes! Visitors! We have visitors!
What secrets are you hiding, I wonder?
What did you guys choose? Hermes or Olympus?
I said Hermes.
So did I.
Uh-oh. Dora's disconnected.
Yeah, I clicked.
Oh.
Sometimes it makes me mad.
Mm-hmm. I wonder whether we should just tell him itself that Elidibus sent us. Although that might piss him off.
Mm.
Although I did like in the earlier cutscene when Elidibus made it clear he was just helping us because Fandaniel did this. Because you remember when Fandaniel first showed up, he said he was doing this because Elidibus was finally gone and he could. So apparently Elidibus has been holding him back all this time.
Yeah.
This is hardly my first time here, but the scenery never fails to take my breath away. Why, it feels as if you could reach out and touch the heavens. Now then, to begin our guided tour, perhaps you already know these things, but for the sake of thoroughness, I shall start with the basics. Using concepts to give shape to ether, creation magics allow us to bring forth anything we desire, be it inanimate objects or living beings. Anyone may conceive of concepts, but they must all undergo evaluation at the Bureau of the Architect. As part of that process, living beings and certain arcane entities may be sent here to Elpis for an in-depth observation and study. A fascinating facility, isn't it? I dare say you will enjoy touring it with us. We have a question mark box. Now then, our friend Hermes, aside from overseeing the facility, he also conducts his own research. Chances are he will be at the main observation hub, so let us seek him out there first. Attired as you are, however, you stand out a little too much. Our dear Emmett Selk wishes to keep a low profile for his errands, so you know how to make a robe. The basic concept will do. No, in that case, Emmett Selk? No, your whim, your responsibility. You're not getting another thimble of ether out of me. The way he scripts sometimes. You'd think he wasn't a nigh bottomless font of magic. Very well, I shall make the robe, but perhaps you can assist. Come, let us search for the requisite material. This is a very pretty zone.
I think I'll be here for a little while. Mm-hmm.
They got very angry from very far away.
Yeah.
Yes, these creatures should suffice. An etheric rope. I want you to use it to capture, shall we say, 2 Petalodi. There are 3 species here, I believe. Any 2 different kinds should serve. Now, I should mention that the strength of the rope is tied, no pun intended, to the strength of its user. As your ether is still thin compared to ours, you'll need to weaken the Petalodi first. Good luck.
Did somebody get it?
I did.
Okay.
Does everybody have all the ones they need?
I
don't
haven't.
have
I
any.
need one more.
Do you need one more, KJ?
I need 2.
You gotta use the item on them, KJ.
I'm trying. Everybody kills them or takes them.
Ah.
I'm too far out.
Under 50%, it should work now.
Alright.
I don't think any of us got that one over there, and I wish I had because I think it has purple on it.
I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a gray robe.
I know.
You've got the Petalodi? Come, let us see. Yes, these fine fellows will do nicely. And now for a spot of reversion. There. Ready. Nothing fancy, but then we're not trying to stand out. Or we're trying not to stand out. Try it on for size. I'm going with option 2. Oh, it's fine. There's no one around to tell us off. And besides, we can always make more Petalodi. They need only a tiny amount of ether. It may take some effort to get the form and composition right, but anyone familiar with the concept should be able to manage. Well and good to disguise and educate it, but it won't fool anyone who can see worth a damn. Fair point. But at the very least, it should spare you unwanted attention from casual observers. Emmett Selk speaks true. Even dressed like us, your unusual nature will be plain to those who think to look. Should someone question your presence, don't make up excuses, much less try to explain what you actually are. No, best to simply say you're a familiar. The question is, whose? Ah, of course, Azim's. If you say you belong to him, people will give you the benefit of a doubt for any and all outlandish behavior. Exploiting our associate's absence. For lack of his presence, absolutely. Were he here, he'd have been the first to propose the idea, and you know it. With that, your story is settled. Let us continue with our errand.
So do we have to put them on now?
I don't know that we actually have to equip it.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I guess we'll talk to Ethelodius here and see what he has to say. If you're ready, let us continue along the path to Anagnoris. The place serves as an observation hub and residence both. Someone there should be able to point us in the direction of Hermes.
Oh, it's gonna look cute pink. I didn't want to get beat up as we ran, so I took it off.
Oh, is it level 1? Yeah, it's
Yep.
level 1.
Yeah. That's why I was saying I didn't think we had to equip it.
We probably have to equip it at some point, but probably not right now.
Yeah.
Yes, can I help you? We wish to speak with Chief Hermes. Do you know where he might be where we might find him? Well now, by your mask I assume you were of the 14. I wasn't aware there was to be a visitation. Between you and us, it's something of a surprise. Your discretion in this matter would be appreciated. I see. My lips are sealed. The chief should be out conducting observations as usual. His focus of late has been aquatic creatures, so I expect you will find him at one of the pools here. The pools, you say? Many thanks, and apologies for disrupting your work. I say, Hythelodius, while I've never met Hermes, you know him well, do you not? That being the case, couldn't you simply find him by his ether? Aye, that I could. As you know, Emmett Selk and I can discern the color of souls. By the same token, we can also see ether quite keenly, and from great distances. With this skill, I could readily locate Hermes, but I felt it would be a waste of an opportunity. We're here to perform an assessment, after all. By searching the ordinary way, we stand to gain an insight into Elpis and the man in charge of it. This is as much for your own enjoyment, like as not, but point taken. If you're going to accompany us, make yourself useful and help us look for Hermes. According to his profile, he has short, dark hair. So you know, it's because we're in Elpis that we don't have our cowls up. A special exemption due to the need to be aware of dangerous creatures. Elsewhere, we do not exhibit our individuality. It's unseemly. This is all common sense, but I would not assume you possess any. It's a rare treat indeed to be able to search for someone by their appearance, and I thank you for humoring. Come, let's find our man.
Oh, that is way off.
Yep, but it's still there. We must
Here.
get it. We're heading for the
Oh.
Aetheryte.
Oh, gotcha.
Ah, sweet. First time.
Hmm?
First time we tried, we got it this time.
Ah, you are...
Oh. Different. You're different too. You and me. We're alike. Friends. I want to be... Wait. Please. Wait. Greetings and salutations. Can you hear me? Do not be alarmed. I mean you no harm. I wish only to hear your words, share your feelings, and know your thoughts. May we please be friends? May we please be friends?
Ah, I see you found him.
Hythlodaeus. It's been a while. Too long, I think.
Too long indeed for close collaborators. On this blessed occasion, I bring not only myself, but others who long to speak with you.
You are of the Convocation.
Emmet Selk at your service. Do I have the honor of addressing Hermes, Chief Overseer of Elpis?
You do. You have traveled far for it.
Given your facility's purpose, Its remote location is something of a necessity. Would that I didn't have to rely upon a guide.
Oh, you wound me. Have I not ever been an attentive and helpful friend? But moving along to more agreeable company, this one we chance to... Well, you certainly have her attention. Is she one of yours, Hermes?
Her name is Meteon. It means shooting star.
If I may make an observation, her ether is terribly thin. I fear she might dissipate at any moment. Nor do I believe you've made a submission to the Bureau. I would remember such a concept if you had.
I haven't, as you say. I judged it too early. She's a pet project of mine, still undergoing preliminary testing. But rest assured that I will attend in person ere long.
Very well. Being an authority on flying life forms, I appreciate that you are exacting in your work. I shall look forward to your submission.
If we have finished with the perfunctory chit-chat, I would discuss official matters. By my coming, I trust you already anticipate the subject.
I have an inkling, yes. Please wait to the main building yonder. I shall join you as soon as I've returned these creatures to their homes.
What's wrong, Hermes?
An amistoma is missing.
I may have found it. A creature with the self-same ether as those there, nestled in the boughs of a tree outside the grounds.
You're saying they can climb, with their sorry excuses for limbs?
The fashion has been to imbue aquatic creatures with the power of flight, ever since the words of Metron created a sky-swimming fish. The ambistomas too can fly, if only slightly, and they could conceivably climb a tree. Whether they can come down safely, however... Excuse me.
I'll help too.
And what are we supposed to do with this lot?
May I suggest we split up? If you would be so good as to assist Hermes, Emmett Selk and I shall keep an eye on these adorable creations in the meantime.
I didn't even see him up in the tree. It seems Hermes and Metion have found their quarry, a creature known in this age as an ambystoma. Yet though it has been safely extracted from the tree, Hermes appears to have found himself in quite the predicament. The ambystoma, Hermes saw it high up in the tree. He climbed up to get it, but it jumped on him, and he slipped. I'm going with option 1. No, I'm fine. I'm a little embarrassed. Now, for your own safety, please stand back. Hermes, are you alright? Quite alright, yes. My apologies for making you worry, Metion. Both you and, intriguing name. Somehow reminiscent of a new creation. Thank you for coming after me. As for you, little one, you must be more careful. You may be able to fly, but it doesn't mean you cannot fall and hurt yourself. Oh no, I had forgotten all about his fellows. Truly. Oh, what a relief. I must thank Emmett Selk and Heathlodatus for their when I return. But first, with the distractions out of the way, as Chief Overseer of Elpis, permit me to welcome you to our facility. I hope you will enjoy your time here. Well, we mustn't keep the others waiting. Let us return to Anagnoris. I feel like I'm leaving possibly 2 syllables out of that word, but, yeah. That'll just have to do.
I am perfectly fine with however you pronounce it.
As long as we don't have to.
My apologies for the trouble. Owing to your kind assistance, all the ambystomas are safe and well. I will presently send them back to their space. If you would go on ahead to the main building. Upon entering, you will see a table and chairs, a meeting area. We may speak there. Very well. Take care not to let the little creature slip away again.
This appears to be the place. And here is where we part ways. We will be discussing highly sensitive affairs. Only a select few may be privy to such knowledge, and that does not include someone who cannot or will not divulge their origins. What? Will I have to remove you by force?
What everybody choose?
Let's hear them then. These reasons of yours. Who knows? If I deem your mysterious cause worthy, I may even be inclined to offer my assistance.
I do not object to his attendance.
Hermes, this is highly irregular.
Perhaps, but I believe he can be trusted. Meteion would not have taken to him so quickly otherwise. Moreover, the presence of a third party may help me to maintain composure.
As you wish, then. Behave yourself, do you hear?
So, it's finally happened, then.
Aye. Van Daniels declared his intention to step down, and named you as his preferred successor. In recognition of your knowledge and your works, the Convocation is giving the recommendation due consideration. As one who does not know you personally, I am to use my impartial eye to take your measure. And above all else, to ascertain your disposition towards the invitation. I understand that you and Van Daniel are close. He himself was once chief overseer of Elpis after all. I should not be surprised if you knew before anyone else that he wished to relinquish his office.
I did. He told me that when he fulfilled his purpose, he wished to pass the torch to me.
A torch you seem none too pleased to accept. Are you so averse to serving on the Convocation?
No, it's not that. For a humble researcher like myself to even be considered is an honor beyond words. No. What troubles me, what I struggle to come to terms with, is the very fact that Van Daniel is stepping down. Does this not mean that he will return to the Star?
Of his own volition, yes, like so many others have before him.
Return to the Star? Does that mean die?
Well now, that's not a word I hear often. Is that what you say here in Elpis? Mankind is the life of Atheris. Each of us, a drop of blood flowing through its veins, bearing sustenance. In our finite time upon it, 'tis our duty to make it a better place, that all who call it home, now and in future, may abide in happiness. To that end, we have dedicated ourselves to the pursuit of enlightened creation. And by our efforts did we transform this once untamed wilderness into the peaceful paradise you enjoy today. To return to the Star whence we came is a privilege afforded to we who have so loved and nurtured it. A choice embraced by those who have lived their lives to the fullest, in service to our world. And when they depart upon this journey, it is beautiful, always.
The 14 are no exception. 'Tis believed no occasion is more felicitous than the fulfillment of one's duty. Our office becomes our lives, and to retire is to return, or so the majority of us hold. Some few have elected to eschew custom. Mayhap you feel Fandaniel's deeds do not warrant his return. Yet you should know his accomplishments as well as any. During his time, he conceived of countless outstanding concepts. And channeling the wealth of experience he attained here in Elpis, he brought forth many new specimens.
I know of all this. I do. It's just, I cannot fathom why someone so great and wise, who could still do so much good, would want to end it all. Oh no. I've made her upset. Forgive me. I know I requested your presence. Might I trouble you to take Meteon outside? A change of scenery would do her good.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean a walk. Perhaps we can go for a walk. That is not a door. Hermes gets sad when he thinks about death. When others are sad, I'm sad too. That's how I am. How he made me. But don't worry, I'm fine now. So, why did you come here? You want to learn about Elpis and Hermes? Oh, teach you. I can teach you. We could take turns. I tell you something, then you tell me something. Option 1. It will be. It will be. Oh, where to start? Let's talk to Mimnon. He should be... Let's talk to Mimnon. He should be near the Aetherite. I'm not good at explaining, but Mimnon is. So, I'll have him explain instead. Metian is now accompanying you. Keep her at your side, etc., etc., etc. And there are aether currents to get here at some point as well. Ah, the Aetherite. Anyone can use it to teleport anywhere. Well, maybe not anywhere. Not to the ground or other isles. For that, you need teleporters. Oh, and permission. And what have we here? Though you look like a person, you have the horns and scales of a beast. I assume you're a familiar like Metian. Is there something you need? Could you teach him about Elpis? Ah, newly arrived familiar, is he? Very well. I should be glad to introduce our fair facility to him. As you know, it is mankind's duty to make the star a better place. As part of this duty, we employ creation magics to bring forth new life. However, we cannot simply release our works into the world, or it would lead to chaos. No, any and all life forms must undergo extensive testing to determine their fitness to exist. Testing which is conducted here in Elpis. Every candidate is subjected to rigorous study, in which we identify their properties, surmise what habitats might be suitable, and speculate as to the effects they may have on the environment and other species. Should it be judged a beneficial addition to the star, it will be allowed to take its place to the world. The two of you, too, were created with the hope of making the star a better place. So heed your masters well and good, do you hear? We will, Memnon. We will. Thanks for the lesson. You had a turn. Now I get a turn. Where did you come from? Option 1. I probably don't know it. I don't know much about other places. But this place is important to you. I can feel it. Oh, my power. I haven't told you about it. A creation. Let's find a creation. One not being watched. Then I'll explain my power. We have another talking circle over here. Spriggans. You brought Spriggans into the world. Spriggans? What are Spriggans? Oh no, we call them Orei. If there's many, if there's many, we call them Orei if there's many. If it's just one, we call them Oreis. Though they're cute, they can be naughty. Sometimes they run off with the concept crystals, and Hermes has to run after them. Oh, this creation is perfect. But I don't remember seeing it before. Perhaps it's new? Anyway, I'll try reading its mind. That's my power. I can't read it. Or maybe there's nothing to read? Wait, please wait. I'll try again. With you this time. Greetings. Can you hear me? This is my power. I can read the emotions of those around me, and project my emotions to others in return. I'm not actually speaking to you in your mind. Rather, you are converting my emotions into words and intention, a process performed subconsciously by intelligent life form. The ability is vital to my mission, for it allows me to interact with intelligent beings even should they communicate via unknown languages or other nonverbal means. As a consequence, I am clumsy at speaking. Yet though I struggle to express myself in this fashion, Hermes wants me to speak as much as possible, for everyone has thoughts and feelings that they may wish to hide. I harbor an affection for you, one that is difficult to define. Aside from the fact that you share common traits with us, your thoughts are complex, prismatic. They draw me in, and leave me wanting to know more. Out of respect for your privacy, I will refrain from using my power when speaking with you. Nevertheless, I want you to know that I wish to be your friend. Did you hear me? Good. That's my turn again. So, what are you good at?
Killing.
Yeah, I fight things.
I'm disappointed I don't have a healing option.
Indeed.
I'm a crafter.
Oh, fighting. That means you must be strong. Hermes is strong too, but he doesn't like to fight, even when creations fight him. The creepy bird is staring at us. I think we might be bothering it. Let's keep going. We'll go and see Yuanthe next. She's usually in a small building, on the western one on the west row.
What if it's a abomination? Snuck its way in here.
I think at this time those might not exist yet.
Well, start small, you know.
Did have a very mean look about
extremely.
it.
I just took it to mean that birds are stupid, but or that it's a. Well, I guess in this game, dodos are really, really fat, so I guess that's not actually a dodo. I don't know. Well, if it isn't Metia, I see you've brought a friend today. Greetings, Yuanthe. An apple. Could you make me an apple? The kind Hermes likes, covered in syrup? I want to share it. Oh, a candied apple? Hermes is certainly partial to them. But you know you can't eat Metia. You weren't made to do so. But I like it too. It may seem that way, but it's due to your ability to share others' feelings. You've taken Hermes' likes for your own. In any case, I can't prepare an apple right. But I'll bring one for Hermes soon, I promise. I'm sorry, I wanted to show you my favorite thing. Then I could ask you about yours. But I failed. Go with option 1. Oh, that's what you like? Yes, I could feel it. Your joy and happiness. And it makes me happy too. Thank you for sharing it with me. Well, We've walked and talked a lot. Maybe Hermes has finished talking too. Shall we go see? There you are. I can see the fresh air has done Metion good. He wanted to learn about you and Elpis, so I taught him. About this place, about my power, about your favorite food. I'm not sure if the last one will be of any use. But I do appreciate you keeping Metion company. While you were away, I finished speaking with our guests. Finished? Hardly. You requested time to consider the invitation, so we have no choice but to occupy ourselves with an inspection of your work. My apologies. It has been decided that Emmett Selk and Hetholatus will accompany me as I tend to my duties. If you wish to learn more, perhaps you would like to come too. I'm compelled to remind you that he is in no way associated with the convocation. We simply chanced to meet at Harpilion. There is no guarantee that the matters we discuss will remain private. I do not mind. To see the joy his presence brings Metion, I cannot imagine our mysterious friend harbors malicious intent. He is kind, really, truly. He taught me as much as I taught him. You're coming, of course. Watch Hermes. You're bound to learn lots and lots.
Oh, I like that.
Nicer than mine.
Yeah, mine's a little boring.
Where's Lane?
I should know. We should know better that ours are probably similar.
Oh no, you're. I like KJ's except for the unicorn on the side.
You don't like the unicorn?
No.
Yeah.
Actually prefer Zora's robe to Emo's. The two-tone colors make it look better.
Hmm.
Although the dyeing probably changes that, but who knows. If everyone is ready, there are a few creations I need to check on. First, we shall return to the spot where we found our wayward ambistoma. Have a care when you step outside of Hub, for there may be some more unruly creatures about. Did we lose you, KJ?
Go ahead.
I just need to AFK for a second.
Eh?
Just transmogging my, or not transmogging.
Gotcha. And it would seem that one is somewhere we can't get yet. I thought those things were trees.
They run funny though.
Yes, they do.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Unicorns.
Angry unicorns, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so I told her my favorite thing was to craft things.
Uh-huh.
And she says, "Well, I can't use, I can't use crafting magic, but maybe I can learn, or creation magic, sorry. But maybe I can learn to create with this crafting that you do."
Ah.
I should have told her, well, I can't do the creation magic either.
Those are nice.
Those pretty.
Indeed. Did you like the legit double take there?
Yes.
This is where 2 of the woods that I need are out here, I think. So I'm happy. Right there to the right.
This here is a new species of Petalota we recently set loose. It's been doing very well, managing to maintain a stable existence thus far. If it can see its observation period to the end without issue, we shall release it unto the world. Tell me, do you know the difference between living beings and arcane entities? It is the presence of a soul, yet the soul isn't something you can choose to have at will. No, it manifests only in those beings whose forms adhere to the laws of creation, that can endure on their own. Beings that do not fulfill this requirement, such as those spontaneously born of magic or natural phenomenon, do not have souls. No matter how much it might resemble flora or fauna, if it lacks a soul, then it is considered an arcane entity. So you see, it is not for mankind to decide what is living. That domain lies beyond our manipulation, and it is hubris to assume otherwise. But come, let us head to the nearby beacon. I have received a report that arcane entities have gathered there. Ah, yes. Lightning Pneuma, just as the report said. Although we call this structure a beacon due to its form, it's in fact a magical device. By manipulating the balance of elements, it keeps the Isle airborne and maintains the climate thereupon. In the course of its operation, it often sees an internal shift towards a given element. Right now, that element is lightning, which draws the Pneuma here to replenish their ether. It appears Metion is busy. Would you care to assist me in her stead and feed the Pneuma? By using this lightning converger, you can harness ambient lightning and focus it into a ball. A veritable feast for our dazzling friends. Go on, give it a try.
What's she saying?
She's just adding. Nothing particularly interesting. Perfectly done. Look. See how they gather to feed. How they express themselves through their actions despite their lack of words. Speech is not the sole defining characteristic of a thinking, feeling creature, nor is silence an indication that they do not possess these qualities. Be it a soulless arcane entity such as the Pneuma, or an ephemeral life form such as the Petaloda, all seek to perpetuate their existence, to survive. Going with option 2. A good question. I can answer it from a theoretical standpoint, but it ultimately falls to the Bureau of the Architect to pass judgment. Those with exceptional vision, such as Heathalotus, may be able to ascertain her true nature. But to me, it doesn't matter. She is herself, and that is all I need to know. Oh, you finished already? I'm sorry, I was in the way. Not to worry, my dear. They missed nothing of note, and we still have plenty of work for them to observe. Next, we'll head east to the Morning Dew. I need to speak with some observers there. And now it's my turn to AFK for a minute. I'll be right back. And I am back.
Welcome back.
KJ is AFK.
No problem.
Back.
Never mind, he's back.
We were stuck inside that rock for a minute.
Yeah.
Amazing, is it not? The Ampelos, one of our newest subjects. So, how are we coming along?
This place is Elpis. Those flowers. Elpis. Entelekis. Like me.
They are a product of Elpis, and so named for their birthplace. A happy accident, born of the hands of a former researcher who loved beautiful blossoms. Unique for how they change color, to reflect the emotional state of those nearby. Though be it here or elsewhere, they are seldom seen in any hue save purest white.
Reflect the emotional state, you say? By what means do they achieve this?
In creation, there exists an energy wholly apart from ether, one driven by emotions. In like manner to how we manipulate ether, this flower is subject to the influence of said energy. While it has no will of its own, it is sensitive to the prevailing emotion in the vicinity, and reacts by altering its color and vibrancy.
Akasha? It is one of the unseen energies defined by Harnish alchemical theory. Though a gross oversimplification, some describe it as an essence influenced by feeling.
Akasha. Though I'm not familiar with the term, your description suggests it is the self-same energy. Dynamis, we call it. And those entities like the Elpis flower that have the ability to interact with this energy, converting emotions into tangible phenomena, are Antelekis.
That's me! That's me! An Enteleki!
That you are, my dear. And no ordinary one at that, but the first possessed of free will.
Wait! A form of energy other than ether? Dynamis? I've never heard of such a thing.
Hardly surprising. Dynamis cannot be seen, much less felt. And though its existence has long been theorized, we had no proof until the flower's serendipitous creation. What's more, Dynamis is far weaker than ether. Under normal circumstances, its effects are drowned out by the latter, on account of which, beings comprised of and reliant upon the ether, like you and I, are unable to make practical use of Dynamis. 'Tis a truly esoteric thing, known to but a select few scholars.
Intriguing. Then, given the limitations you described, why create Meteon?
Our star, Aetheris, is especially rich in ether, so much so that its name is derived from it. However, when we consider all energy in existence here and in the vast space beyond, Dynamis may account for as much as 68.3%. The more abundant form by far. Were we able to control it, we could open the door to limitless possibilities. 'Tis not unlike a gently flowing stream, unable to break through the dam of ether barring its path. But if we could imbue the stream with the vigor of a raging river... not that I have such grand ambitions. Nay. I merely wish to create a being that could traverse the great expanse. The relative scarcity of ether beyond the bounds of this star was a concern. And so, I looked to another source of energy by necessity.
That being Dynamis. No wonder her ether is so thin.
Precisely.
Yours is thin too. Like an entelechy. Like me. So... are we the same? Entelechies.
Well, aren't we ungrateful? Mayhap I should revert you to the pathetic, faded thing you were.
A deficit of ether alone does not an entelechy make. It would, however, make it easier for you to interact with Dynamis. And limited though its influence may be, this quality could prove the difference between victory and defeat. You do well not to underestimate it. Oh dear. I'd forgotten about the poor fella. You must excuse me a moment while I go and verify a few more things.
I had to go with option 3, by the way.
What was his response?
Basically, oh, well then maybe I should just turn you back into what you were then.
Yeah. I chose number 2, and then he says, sounds like a flailing, whatever, beast. Yeah, oh, you did too.
Mm-hmm.
Zora, did you do one?
Same.
Oh. Wait, where's the flowers?
They're here. right in front of me.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, there's not glowing near as much as they were. Not that I or anyone else would be able to make use of it, even if we knew. But it irks me to discover there's an entire different form of energy, and no one told me. That personal annoyance aside, Hermes' knowledge is undeniably impressive. Given that there are none among the 14 who specialize in the Celestial, he would be a welcome addition. Assuming he can be persuaded to join, that is. I still can't understand his hesitation. I'm gonna go with option 2. Oh, you wish to know why Emmett Selk was chosen for the convocation? I should be glad to share the tale. It began when... not another word. Lest be forgotten, we're to learn about Hermes, not me. My misspent youth is not your concern.
Same thing happened for the other one.
Yeah. Exact same.
So, if I'm remembering correctly, because the names are so difficult for me to remember, that's the new old friend that we met, right?
Ethelodius?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. My apologies for the wait. I have inspected the Amplos to my satisfaction. All is well with the creature, and I dare say it won't be long ere it is released into the world. Another creation, however, reportedly isn't faring so well. The Charybdis. That is what we shall tend to next. If you would follow me, my friends, we shall return to the main island and head north. Oh, we know these things survived. Somehow.
Yeah. I've got one.
I understand there is a problem with one of the Charybdis. Yes, that's right. As you know, the Charybdis is based on a sea creature. Owing to adjustments to enhance its affinity to wind, it's capable of flight. The specimens created from the concept could all fly without issue, but a problem arose in subsequent generations. This third generation creature was born with an etheric balance leaning strongly towards water, its aquatic origin reasserting itself, it would seem. The result being its affinity to wind is diminished and it cannot fly. No matter what we try, we can't get it to rise even the slightest bit. For such change to manifest in so few generations, I fear they are too unstable. Flawed. With your permission, I will revert the creatures, and recommend to the Bureau the concept be revised. With its etheric balance leaning towards water, the Charybdis would indeed struggle to manipulate wind. Yet it is too early to conclude that it cannot fly. Having failed at first, it may simply have developed a fear. I shall transform and fly with it, helping it to manipulate wind until it finds its wings. But you needn't go to such lengths. You don't know. But of course not. Transformation is an art which one manipulates a vast quantity of ether to construct another body around oneself. In practice, this allows one to assume any conceivable form, and thereby transcend the limits of one's flesh. Yet, convenient though it may be, transforming in the presence of others is considered vainglorious in the extreme, as uncouth and unseemly as running about robeless. Shameful. Am I to understand you make a habit of this? Nothing of the sort. Just when transformed, I can wield the wind and fly. It may seem excessive, but what is our shame next to the lives of these creatures? They deserve a chance, and we owe it to them to do all in our power. Be that as it may... Yes, I believe I have a solution. Emmett Selk, may I trouble you to move that Charybdis away from its fellows, somewhere out of sight? Meanwhile, I'd like the rest of you to help me prepare here. What mischief are you scheming now? No mischief, I assure you. I would but spare you the need to report to your colleagues that Hermes committed an indiscretion. So have a little faith and run along. I trust you don't mind. Miss Elk is out of sight. Good. Let's speak of the plan. The stroke of genius, really. We have Emmett Selk train the Charybdis. Aside from being able to fly untransformed, he can readily see ether currents. And with his adept spellcraft, he can also employ subtle wind magics to guide the creature along. While he is indeed capable of all you described, it is not his duty. I am loath to trouble him with it. Oh, don't be. As I mentioned, it would also be for his own sake. With that settled, let's begin at once. I want you to go to Emmett Selk, tell him that you have a favor to ask. He will be disinclined to cooperate at first, but you mustn't be discouraged. With our friend, the trick is to be unflaggingly persistent. Off you go now, and good luck. With the chat mode in Say, use your keyboard or the software keyboard to ask, or say, I have a favor to ask, to indicate to Emmett Selk you have a request. And we might have to spam it, because he might say no multiple times.
Wow, he took it far away.
Well, apparently Hithlodius could see a long way, so maybe he was being serious about it. I don't know. Well, are your preparations for the scheme that is clearly not a scheme complete? Oh, I'm not capitalizing
Oh,
I.
and it changed the words, and I didn't even realize it like an idiot.
Oh, no, you don't. I'm not lifting a finger. I don't know what Hithelodius is up to, and I will not be made to know. I refuse. If Hithelodius is to believe, relentless insistence may serve to wear down the ever-weary Emmett Silk. Say, please, Emmett Silk, to plead with Emmett Silk.
No, no, no. You are not foisting this nonsense on me.
I'm given to understand you have the power to help the Charybdis, and should be quite willing to do so. And so I appeal to your better nature, most benevolent Emetselk. Please teach her to fly.
Or else Hermes will transform. Right now.
Now, there's no need to go quite that far. Altruism is its own reward, as I'm sure he would agree.
Oh, would he now? And who contrived to put me in this position, pray tell?
Nothing so devious. I merely suggested a possible course of action.
Please, Emmett Silk. Please.
I did not come all this way to play nursemaid to your creations. I'd thank you to remember this favor and let it be the last. I will aid it once it has taken to the air. It falls to you to shepherd it skyward.
Well, let's relax and enjoy the spectacle, shall we? You were wondering why Emmett Selk joined the convocation. Truth be told, he wasn't the first choice for the office. I was, on the strength of my ability to see ether. But I declined the offer. For though my vision is exceptional, I am pedestrian in all other aspects. Worse even, quite abysmal when it comes to manipulating ether, for example. Couldn't transform even if I had a mind to do so. What good is the ability to perceive a problem if one cannot act to address it? Emmett Selk has no such shortcomings, He excels in vision and manipulation both, the latter to an extraordinary degree. If there is a mage more powerful, I do not know of them. Thus did I recommend him for the office in my stead. And I wasn't the only one. Far from it. Countless others vouched for his skill and character. People the world over, to whom he had previously lent a helping hand. Oh, how surprised he was. Claimed he hadn't done anything remarkable for anyone. Modest to a fault. He deserved every bit of acclaim he received. Yet he may well have gone unappreciated were it not for a mutual friend. A singular soul who can't help but involve himself in the business of others. Where he walks, excitement is certain to follow. His antics irritate Emmett Selk to no end, but much of his grumbling stems from genuine concern. When our friend calls, he never fails to answer and lend his talents. And in the course of doing so, he himself came to be recognized and respected by those around him. They are truly remarkable individuals, and I'm proud to call them friends. To help them realize their dreams. This will be my greatest contribution to our world, and when they have fulfilled their respective purposes, so too shall I have fulfilled mine, and together we may return to the star. Look at me, spilling my innermost secrets. I can't seem to help it with you. I can only assume it is due to the color of your soul. I just don't understand how you can be so alike and yet so different.
Well done, my pet. Well done!
Ah, yes. I dare say the Charybdis will be fine here on. Why don't you go and signal to Emmett Selk? Let him know that his arduous task is at an end.
Emerging from his reverie, Emmett Selk notices you and begins to descend. I have no words to express my gratitude. Thanks to you, the Carabus has learned to fly. And we could relax and have a pleasant chat. I'm sure you did. The creature needed some small assistance at first, but soon it was flying more or less on its own. I doubt you will need to repeat the lesson. That was truly impressive. I witnessed it all from afar. The Carabus flies. Indeed. With this, we've proven that even a creature with skewed etheric balance is capable of flight. Though we helped it to achieve this, the Carbus is a herd animal. They may well aid their struggling kin in like fashion, if and when the need arises. Keeping this in mind, I bid you continue observing them. If that is what you want. But if I may say so, rather than hoping an idealistic possibility comes to pass, would it not be simpler to have the concept adjusted? That way we could guarantee that anomalies such as this specimen are never born in the first place. These creatures are already here. We will spare no effort in giving them a chance to survive. As you wish, Chief. As you wish. Hermes. I'm fine. Don't worry. Well, that concludes all of my present tasks. Let us return to Anagonorisis for now. I am mispronouncing that word because words shouldn't have that many stumbles in them.
Wow, look at the horses in that fate.
Mm-hmm. We don't even have to sink for it. Want to apologize for forcing me to help you, do you? Save your breath. You didn't force me to do anything. I merely chose the most expeditious way to have done with an impediment to our business. Tell me, in the course of watching me, have you learned aught of value? I'm going with option 3. If only my work were more interesting. Nevertheless, I'm still indebted to you for keeping Metion company. If there is aught I might do, you need but ask. Chief Hermes, what good fortune to find you here. Is something the matter? The Ikion. I'm afraid it's done it again. No sooner did we release one of our observation than it set upon the nearby occupants, slaughtering them. Was the creature hungry, or somehow provoked? I had just fed them myself, and the occupants were keeping a wide berth. It is the nature of the Ichion that is to blame, their innate viciousness. Temperament aside, it is an outstanding creation, perfect in form and function. Though it may not be suited for release, I've no doubt that the Bureau will accept its concept for preservation. In any case, there's no point in postponing the inevitable. Doros will revert them all at once once the paperwork is in order. Where is the scene of the incident? Just off the path to the 12 Wonders. And as you make your way, you should see it on the left. I don't know if Doros is still there, however. Hermes, wait. If this is part of his work, then I would observe. We follow. Welcome, friend, to Anagonorsis. I am Suckles, and I manage this region under the authority of Chief Hermes, the head overseer of Elpis. And you are, how unusual. A soul-bearing familiar. A familiar must have a mission, and yet you offer no message and carry no cargo. Are you perhaps here for the purposes of observation? Yes, that must be it. In which case, you need only mention my name to Charmion, and she will gladly give you a tour of our domain. Soak it all in. Yes? Yes, what can I do for you? An overseer Sockles wishes me to act as your guide? Oh. Oh, no. I didn't mean it like that. I would be more than happy to show you around. I'm simply wondering why the overseer chose to send you to me, of all people. I haven't been here very long myself, truth be told. Until quite recently, I was wholly engaged in a prolonged research project in Academia Onder. Surely there are other, more experienced individuals who could provide a more comprehensive... This grumbling is hardly constructive now, is it? The task was given to me, and I will attempt to cover the most salient features of our facility to the best of my ability. After all, it is not every day that one is asked to indulge the curiosity of such a rare and fascinating visitor. We can commence the tour this very moment, if you like. Then, let us begin. Rather than have me lecture you as we walk along, I think observing firsthand what we do here in Anagnoris would prove more beneficial. I will point you in the right direction, and you can question my colleagues to your heart's content. Once you've completed a circuit, we can return and speak to Overseer Sokals. Charmaine is now accompanying you, etc., etc.
There was something in the air that
Mm-hmm.
had a speech bubble. Right there. Oh, it's
Oh,
a horse, a little horse.
a very tiny Pegasus.
Yeah, and it says nay.
Jarmian. Oh, and who is your friend? Azim's familiar. Why, you appear so astute and deliberate in your thinking. I should very much like to make an extended study of your composition and consciousness. Oh, do forgive my forwardness. It is my duty to chart the behavior of familiars, and I find it ever so diverting. Arcane servants are rarely permitted to roam the world at will, you see. But our research here is given special dispensation. Once the subjects are properly registered as concepts, of course. There are times when familiars are tasked with tending cattle or must otherwise coexist with other living beings. Such projects are brought to me, and I am responsible for observing and evaluating their potential capabilities, or potential compatibilities. Oh, but of course, if Azim might grant us permission, then you could abide here for a few years while I analyze. On that note, we really must be moving along. Step lively. Yeah, I don't want to live here for a couple of years. What do we have here? Familiar of some kind? Judging by your ethereal structure. Yes, I am accompanying him here on a tour around Agnemoris, at the behest of the Overseer. A tour? Feel free to wander as you please, of course, but I advise keeping your distance from the larger creatures. The fauna I have under observation occupy the top tier of the food chain, and do not take kindly to intruders in their territory, especially the specimens found on the other islands. They can be exceedingly hostile. While I am sure you are quite capable of defending yourself, no one appreciates a surprise tusk through the abdomen, eh? Thank you for the warning. We will proceed with due caution. He is right, though. Nobody wants a surprise tusk through the abdomen.
No.
Hello, Charmian. Was there something? The Overseer asked that I give this familiar a tour of the grounds, and I thought the best way to do so was to show him what we do here firsthand. I see. Well, as my work is rather difficult to demonstrate, I hope a brief explanation will suffice. Our creations are many and varied, but I mainly preside over the plant life. When it comes to watching certain grasses grow, one must be prepared to observe over the course of several years, and in the case of trees, sometimes decades. Tedious, perhaps, yet necessary. Plants are capable of altering an entire habitat, and their presence as a food source has an enormous influence on the local wildlife. Was that the sort of thing you wished to know? Yes, that was perfect, thank you. I think we've covered the main areas of interest. All that's left now is to speak with Overseer Sokos. Ah, I see you've completed your tour. Almost. We spoke with those in charge of the various facets of Agnemoris, but I thought it would be fitting to end this visit where it began, with you, Overseer Sokos. I see. And what is your impression of the work we do here? I will have option 2. I am glad we could help further your worldly education. And I am glad to see you enjoyed the experience. At least, I hope you did. You are truly a masterpiece of creation. Only a soul Only a soul-bearing familiar could demonstrate such robust cognitive and cognitive faculties. Were you perhaps designed to inspire others? I feel something special has been woven into your aura. You have an intriguing presence, to say the least. Please, stay a while and share more of your thoughts with us. Yes, I second this invitation. In all the long years I have resided here, never have I encountered such a unique entity, and one of Azim's, no less. The lacerations and burns are unmistakable. And Eakon was indeed responsible. But the creature is nowhere to be seen. Doros must have taken it away. The man makes his base at the 12 Wonders. I shall go and seek him out there. Emmett Selk and I will search the area for good measure, just to make sure that Eakon does not escape. My thanks. Let us meet at the 12 Wonders when you are finished. I will go on ahead. Please follow. Come, come. It's down this path and over the bridge. There it is, the 12 Wonders. Hermes is looking for Doros. Let's look for Doros too. He's a man with long blonde hair, I think. I'll know him when I see him. Hmm? If you're with Metion, then I assume you're on an errand for Hermes. What can I do for you? Sorry, wrong person. We're looking for Doros. Ah, I see. We do have similar hair, so people often mistake us from afar. I hope you find him soon. I'm intentionally talking to the wrong people, by the way. Once I get back and record today's results, I should finally be able to put that report to bed. Not Doros. His hair is long, but the color is wrong. Doros! That's Doros. Well now, if it isn't Metion, what brings you here? I thought I heard familiar voices. I didn't realize you two had decided to help me search for Doros. Thank you. You're in charge of the Iacones, I believe. Where are they now? Out in the field in restraints. Frenzied as they were, I couldn't well return them to Thesis. Once I've submitted my report, I'll see them reverted without delay. As he says, the beasts are indeed quite ferocious. You're one of the 14. What brings you here? Nothing you need to concern yourself with, as you were. We've heard the news that Eacon slaughtered the occupants. As the observer in charge, you are of the opinion that they are not fit to be released? I am. Their abnormal aggression and exceptional strength makes for a highly problematic combination. It matters not where they are released. Lacones would threaten other species and upset the natural order. Could it be that the specimens observed are an outlier? Highly unlikely. We've created a good many of them. All exhibited the same tendencies. Even when we used Karios to begin with a fresh slate, their behavior was unchanged. Iros? A memory reconfiguration system. The chief himself created it. It allows us to erase or alter memories, that we may observe creations in different environmental conditions without needing to remake them from scratch. Quite impressive, and potentially dangerous, depending on the intensity of the etheric emissions. Pastoro may wish to have words with you. Rest assured, I've kept all values within prescribed limits, and to prevent misuse, its applications are limited to those authorized by the Chief Overseer. Not misunderstand, to manipulate a subject's memories is an intrusive act I deeply abhor, but it is still preferable to execution. Come now, Chief. Let's not be so melodramatic. What was born of ether is simply being reduced to its original state. I know the distinctions concern you, but we mustn't lose sight of the bigger picture, making rational choices for the sake of a more prosperous star. If a creation cannot be properly studied even with the aid of Kairos, we remake it. If the creation is deemed detrimental to a detrimental existence, we unmake it. 'Tis all for the greater good, and none question the necessity of such routine process. I understand these things. I do. I would never think to unleash a clear and undeniable threat unto the world. Yet insignificant though their individual lives may be next to all of creation, it is all the Lacones have. Before we seal their fates, we owe it to these beings to exhaust all options, to ensure that nothing has been overlooked. If you insist, let me provide you with a full report, and we may take it from there. Would it be possible for us to attend the discussion, that Emmett Selk may better carry out his duties? By all means. Pray show them to the meeting room. I don't know if we're going to get to see one of these Lacones, but I'm guessing they're probably behemoths. To man, other beings are just things, to be used and controlled, like magic. That's what Hermes told me once. I fear this discussion may take a while, during which time... Metion, are you feeling unwell? Not me, Hermes, it's you. I won't go to the meeting. I'll stay with him. Low though I am to impose, may I leave Metion in your care again? I am in your debt, if you'll excuse me. Can you help me with something? The meeting will make Hermes sad. I want to cheer him up with a flower. Hermes likes flowers the most, of all the creations in Elpis. Most creations are expected to be interesting, or beautiful, or strong, better in some way. But flowers are different. They're designed to suit our emotions, what we feel and what we convey. Hermes likes that. I can't make flowers, so I'll search for one, and I want you to search with me. Let's start here at the 12 Wonders. Vibrant purple flowers bigger than your hands adorn the tree. Oh, so big and bright. I love them. But they might be too bright. You have to think of the recipient. That's what Hermes said. A tall, slender tree rises before you. You crane your neck to look for flowers. No flowers. If there were apples, we could have covered them in syrup. Let's head outside next. Don't worry, we won't wander far. An array of beautiful flowers grow in the bed, their mix of colors forming a pattern. These would be better for Hermes, but they're hedged in. That means we shouldn't touch them. They're either under observation or poisonous. And any other place should be fine, though. Let's keep looking. Set on a tall, thin stalk, the oddly shaped flower is mesmerizing in its undulations. Oh, a Canaan! A flower that can move. When Hermes wasn't looking, it shot seeds at him. Not a good gift, maybe. But you're good at spotting flowers. We'll find something soon. Missed opportunity. I should have gotten a poison effect as soon as I stepped in the flowers.
Yeah.
Or somebody should have yelled at me. One or the other.
Mm-hmm.
You spy nothing promising nearby. At best, common-looking grasses with some few tiny flowers. Nothing around here. Over there. Something big, huge. A terrible stench reminiscent of sodden old boots pervades the air. Without a doubt, the culprit is the Morbalk-like creature before you. It's an Adonis. The things around its mouth look like petals, but the flowers are the orbs on its head. When Hermes inspected it, it swallowed him up. He didn't leave his room for days. What do you think? Would he like it? Option 1. But not this one either. Finding a good flower is harder than I thought. I'm sorry, but could we search a little more? Maybe as far as the fields over there? I'll pick something after that, I promise. Lush green fields stretch out before you, ending where the sky begins. Oh, there's nothing. The shiny thing over there, what could it be?
Color me surprised.
Uh-huh.
If I had any way to speak, this would have been my first guess.
Yep. Oh, Elpis flowers. They're here too. Hermes likes and dislikes them at the same time. Like me, they're intelleckies. Like me, they feel his pain and turn dark. That's only for Hermes, though. For others, they're always white and bright. Truly? The flower was dark in your home? Then do you have it too? A dark emotion? I'm going with option 1. I see. Hermes has known the same. The feeling that a part of you is gone, again and again, but no one notices. Please, won't you lend it to me? Your pain and sorrow? I want you to make the flower dark, in front of Hermes. He's been in a dark place, since before he created me. He needs to know that he isn't there alone. That others are sad too. Truly? You'll do it? Thank you. Thank you. It means more to me than I can say. I can't wait to see how Hermes reacts. Let's go back and fetch him.
He's in a meeting?
Uh-huh. She doesn't understand that concept. It seems they're still talking. Let's wait until they're finished.
Hermes!
You were waiting for me.
You've finished talking?
Yes. We've come to a decision. My thanks for keeping Meteon company. Emmett Selk and Hythlodaeus have already retired to their rooms. There is room for you too, if you would follow me.
Wait! I want to show you something first.
Elpis flowers?
Go on. You're not the only one, Hermes. Others feel sad too. You're not alone.
I see Meteon has shared much with you. May we talk a moment? I do not think it wrong that we live for the star, that we strive to make it a better place. And yet, in carrying out my duties here, there are times when I am plagued by doubt. Do you recall what Hythlodaeus said when we first spoke of my nomination? Death is the privilege of those who have fulfilled their purpose, a choice they embrace of their own free will, and when they depart, it is always beautiful. Perhaps it is, but only for man. Creations that he deems useless are discarded with nary a second thought. Some scarcely born into the world, afforded a handful of breaths before life and potential are abruptly extinguished. We make an effort to spare them the pain, but they sense what awaits. Rage and anguish and cower and fear. And it is not beautiful. Yet no one cares. No one. So fixated are we upon the duty that we do not pause to question the method. Pain and suffering, confusion and despair, writ plain in the eyes of those poor creatures. Yet no one sees. We turn a blind eye and carry on in blissful ignorance. Not amiss. And always, always the blossoms shine pure and white. A contradiction so blatant I could scream, want to scream. How can you all accept this aberration? Then I wonder, am I the aberration for thinking thus? But now I know I'm not alone. Not the only one for whom the flowers weep. I won't ask what you thought as you kneeled beside the Elpis, or if you only did it at Meteon's insistence. Nevertheless, I thank you. To know that you too have experienced suffering is a comfort. Indeed. Difficult though it may be, I must endeavor to be strong like you. The stars in the heavens. Know you what they are? Though it is too far to tell, each glittering light could be a world not unlike Aetheris. A world filled with life. So many stars, so many lives. For us, there may be no higher purpose than to live for our world. But what of the other living beings out there? What is it that gives their lives meaning? That drives them day after day after day? To pose that question to our undiscovered cousins, I created beings of Dynamis, who can traverse the vast emptiness between the stars. Meteion and her sisters. Aye, sisters. She has a great many of them, and they have already departed on their journey, traveling to one star and then the next in search of life. As one might expect, exploration on such a grand scale is rife with difficulties, and thus... But I have faith that we will make some manner of discovery ere long. And when we do, I should be glad to share our findings with you, in gratitude for your kindness. It's getting rather late. We had best find our beds. It would not do for both of us to be sleep-deprived on the morrow. Come, Meteion. Let us head back.
All right!
You know, they talked about there was one that didn't side. Was it Hermes?
I know the one that didn't side was Azim.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Hermes is Fandaniel.
Yes, yes.
An all too brief interlude, perhaps, but it is time I attended to my task. As Emmett Selk and Heathlodius are aware, we reached a verdict regarding the fate of the Lacones. 7 were created for observation, and all 7 must be unmade. Doros has followed the correct protocols, and as chief observer, I can find no fault in his judgment. The Lacones would disrupt the natural order, ravaging and consuming other species until they themselves starve and perish. They cannot be released into the wild, and they cannot be allowed to remain here in Elpis. I intend to petition the Bureau of the Architect to have the concept preserved as a restricted purpose hazardous life form. Hithlodius has pledged to support me in this endeavor. Yet, whatever the Bureau decides, the existing Lacones have served their purpose. Doros has already isolated the creatures and is preparing to carry out the necessary measures. I will join him forthwith. It is my duty to witness the conclusion of this study. If you are resolved, then we have but to accompany you. Of course, let us be off then. We return to the main aisle. Also, I'm somewhat concerned about what might be on that island in the distance that Metiam was looking at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The cat bats.
Yeah, I was doing a quest in the firmament, I believe, and one of these came up. It was the first time I realized it's not a cat with bat wings. It's a cat wearing a wingsuit. It still has standard cat paws. It's just flapping. My, what a familiar essence you have. Like that of a familiar. If you're familiar with the concept. Oh, just my little joke. I am Hippotho. Yes, we're getting to that. Say hello to our familiar here. She's an Aluros. The Aluri are one of our newest creations, highly attuned to abnormalities in their environment, and at the first sign of danger, they'll sound the alarm, by which I mean mewl loudly. Though we do our best to observe all of our creations, Elpis is simply too large to maintain a constant vigil over each and every temperamental species. A more efficient means of detecting conflict between creatures was in order. Thus, have I taken the Aloros under my wing to further develop her capabilities in this area, and she does enjoy our little walks. This morning, we were testing her ability to pinpoint sites of conflict. Would you like to observe? Simply tell her that her task has begun, and she'll do the utmost to locate the disruptive creatures. Please, do subdue any unruly subjects once you found them. We can't have beasts running amok. Follow the Aluros and try not to fall behind. The Aluros alerts you to the two nearby creatures that are facing one another down, and looks at you expectantly. He seems quite content, but in the name of science, what were the results? As I expected. Well done, little one. Magnificent creatures, the both of you. It's a shame we can't give you a pair of tiny wings and a bell, too. But it's against protocol, I'm afraid. The Alorii are enchanted with theirs at birth, so they are able to acclimate properly. I'm certain you have your own unique potential to rise to, however. In fact, why not join us for another phase of testing? Doros, are you hurt? What happened here? They caught me off guard. I had them bound with ethereal shackles, but they became frenzied, even more so than usual, and broke free. I was able to stop 4. The other 3 escaped. I see them. 2 have taken to the air above 12 wonders. The last is up ahead, lurking in the fields. You 2 handle that one. The pair in the sky you can leave to me. If this is how it must end, then so be it. I will render assistance to Emmett Selk, unneeded though it is. Metion, you were to stay here with Doros. But Hermes... The Lacones must be reverted. I would spare you their pain, and mine. This is my burden, not yours. But if you are intent on helping, then please follow my lead.
Those look like one of the demons we've fought before.
They do, you're right.
I can't remember which boss it is. Which makes me think we're not actually going to kill this one. Were there really 7 created or 8?
They sort of remind me that the same body style as the mount that I got. Like a,
oh yeah, the Fenris mount.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate your help and lament that it is necessary. There it is, our quarry, within striking distance at present, but if it feels threatened, it may flee beyond our reach. Here's my plan. You will approach slowly in full view and draw the Lacone's attention. Now, I warn you, its abilities are as fiery as its temperament. Once it spots you, it will unleash orbs of flame. But fear not. By my measure, you are more than equal to the task. Stand the onslaught for a few brief moments, and it will give me time to catch it unawares. Ready? Let us begin.
That's why we're here, though. Or Zora and me, anyway. Ranged attack. Oh, Andy, huh?
Didn't see the destination there at first.
Now. Oh. Forgive me. Please, forgive me. May you and your kin find peace. Wherever your souls may drift in the underworld, may you find tranquil seas. Be not forgotten, in concept endure, to reclaim form and one day live again. Serve not the star, or any purpose save your own. Live again, if that be your desire. Hate, if that be your want. We are worthy. But leave your suffering behind. Lay down your burdens, be born anew. Fly high. Fly free.
Join the convocation, Hermes. You do not belong here.
Leave to replace another. To be replaced. It changes nothing. Tell me, do you think it right that we sacrifice all these lives for the sake of the star? And when the star has reached perfection, what then? If all who are satisfied choose to die, shall we all die in satisfaction? I do not know. Were I to take up the seat of Van Daniel, it would be tantamount to approving my predecessor's death. I do not know if it is right. And to be torn by such thoughts, I do not know if I am fit to represent mankind.
Hermes! Please don't be angry. It hurts so.
Forgive me. If you would still consider me in spite of everything, I beg some time to gather my thoughts. Meanwhile, Hythlodaeus, I fear I must trouble you to attend to the others.
'Tis no trouble at all. Take as long as you require.
And you, my friend, I pray you find that which you seek.
I expect we have some few matters to discuss. Shall we return to the 12 Wonders for a time?
Aye.
Yet the Lacones have been taken care of. The incident is resolved, and life on Elpis continues as normal. Or ends, as the case may be. Rationally speaking, I understand Hermes' argument. No matter how well deserved the rest, there is a pang of sadness when a colleague leaves. Yet never has a departure caused me such grief as Hermes appears to feel. What must it be like to experience such? Where to now? Is there anywhere you would like to visit before we leave? I should be glad to show you the way. Hermes has not yet outright refused his position with the convocation, merely postponed the decision. As such, I may as well resume my assessment. If we cannot accompany him, then I will content myself with questioning his colleagues. Ever the pragmatist, then allow me to remain your humble guide. And what of you? Will you continue along with us? Wonderful. Our fellowship travels on unbroken. I say we will explore another part of Elpis, and see what new encounters there are to be had. If you would follow me, we will first head back to Anagonoris. From here, we follow the path northwards to Natanuius. There we will find one of the Neas, which facilitate travel between the islands of Elpis. First-time travelers must be accompanied by someone with the requisite permission, which I have previously been granted. So we only need to use the one device together once, and henceforth you have leave to use it freely. Shall we? Here we are. Natanias. This Neas will take us to Calamelios Zephyrus, the western island. That's it right there, looming large over us. Step this way and we can soon admire the view from above.
I present to you Kalamelios Zephyros. Here you will find a number of testing facilities, as well as the observation hub of Poiton Oikos. Right then. Let's begin by... Well, well. An Arrhaeus. How delightful.
And what, pray tell, is that?
Ah, that's a new species of shark. We approved the concept but a few days ago. Sharks are among the most popular sea creatures. Rare is the day when someone does not submit a new concept. At first, they were largely orthodox, consideration given to such things as size and environmental impact, and then a whimsical someone thought to bestow it with flight, another superior intelligence. And then the floodgates burst. Concepts with multiple heads, or arms and legs, and so on and so forth. It was getting absurd. A part of me wanted to tell them to go away and find something else to create, but in the end I couldn't deny their passion. And here we are.
That was too close. Are you unharmed? Well now, if it isn't a pair of familiar faces.
Banar, that we should meet you here.
As I mentioned earlier, the better part of the convocation holds that when we retire is when we return to the star. Well, she is not among said majority. Even after stepping down, she carries on with her work. Vanar is her name, and she is the previous Azem.
It has been a while, Hythlodaeus. You look well. Less so, Emmet Selk. I dare say the lines upon your brow have both deepened and doubled in number. A shame for one so young. You must make an effort to frown less often.
Easier said than done, thanks to your unruly successor.
How is he, if I may ask?
Incorrigible as ever. Rushed headlong into a volcano on the brink of eruption just the other day. I should be glad to share the tale in its entirety later, if you're so inclined.
Oh, you know I am. Now then, you are? I say, have you perchance come from the future? I do not believe we have ever met, yet I sense my magic upon you. Therefore, if I wove the enchantment, I could only have done so at a later point in time.
What manner of magic is this, if I may ask?
A traveler's ward, of course. It prevents the corruption of one's ether. Primals, you say? But I'm not familiar with such beings. But if they enthrall by warping the balance of ether, then yes, the magic would afford you a measure of protection. I gather from your question that you are not ignorant to its presence.
Hold on. From the future? That's absurd.
What is it? Are you unable to speak of the matter?
The reality to which you must return exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present.
So, your actions here will not change your history, but they may yet affect the course of ours. How very exciting! I'm quite fond of delving into the unknown, and there's naught more unknown than the future. Until a moment finally arrives, we cannot know for certain what will come to pass, regardless of our supposed foreknowledge, so you needn't worry for us. More importantly, that you should go to such great lengths as to travel unto the past bespeaks the gravity of your quest. Will you not reveal it to us? Mayhap we can be of aid to your cause.
If this is true, then you've been keeping quite the secret to yourself. As a representative of the Convocation, I will hear it all. Your identity, purpose, everything.
Why don't we move to a place more conducive to calm conversation? I've been working here for some days now at an old friend's behest. If it is agreeable, we may make use of my accommodation at Poiton Oikos. We were meant to meet. I am certain of it. Else I wouldn't have marked you so clearly, and sent you unto myself in the past. It's precisely the sort of mischief I would get up to, and quite inspired, if I do say so myself.
We have found the heart of Hydaelyn, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
My apologies, but before we move along, a colleague has tasked me with a matter which I'd rather not leave unresolved. It involves finding a certain concept engraved crystal, and the quick-fingered Aureus which made off with it. An Aureus, you say? I think we might have seen the culprit before being distracted by that business with the shark. Would you like us to follow its etherical trail? That would, of course, lead us only to the Aureus, and there's no guarantee that it hasn't dropped or stashed away the crystal you seek. Please, even that much would be enormously helpful. While you are hunting down the thief, I can follow behind and scour the forest floor just in case. If I ask you to join the search, I would appreciate another pair of eyes to cover the land to the west of here. Many thanks. There's a small bridge leading into Poitin Oikos. Let us meet up there once we've exhausted our efforts. Or, hear me out, better idea. We go get the Aetherite, and then we call it for the day.
I was going to suggest that
Sounds
as
good.
well.
Since it is entirely possible there might be some trees up here that KJ needs, so making it easy to get back up here would be good.
Yep.
Alright guys, we are going to call it here for the day, and I will be back tomorrow with more Final Fantasy VII. Until then, I want to thank y'all for joining me. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next time. Have a good night.